What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Oddchopper channel, coming to you with the St. Patrick's Day edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Oh, well, it's not St. Patrick's Day for you, but anyway, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Yes, hopefully you had a safe St. Patrick's Day. Obviously, you might be listening to this Sunday night, but obviously most of you will be listening to it Monday morning as you're heading on your commute, as you're heading around, trying to get the information here for this lovely little 8-game Monday slate that we have before us. I'm going to give you the goods. I'm going to give you all the information I have. Lines on 6 of 8, 7 of 8 now as of, well, it stands right now. We're going to be waiting for that Atlanta one for a long time. So we're going to brush by that one for sure in the evening window. If you want to know if I have any bet there, hit me up on X at Eric Lindquist. Always available to chat there. But anywho, producer Jacob, hey, how's your weekend? Good, great, grand, cool. It's March Madness. It's Bet 365, and we'll talk about them a little bit later. But anywho, our day begins with Cleveland taking on Indy here in the early window. Only game starting here at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Everything else, we have a really backloaded slate. So, hey, get off work, put some dollars on some basketball, and let's make some money. But Donovan Mitchell probably not going to be playing basketball here, considering he's already been told that, nasal fracture seems bad. Dude gets back, breaks his nose. That sucks. Max Strus going to be out as well, and Evan Mobley very close to coming back, but it sounds as though he won't be back until later in the week. Hopefully. Benedict Mathurin here, he's out on the Indy side for the rest of the entire season, but everybody else, pretty well known, pretty much going to be in. This is a pretty clear-cut spot that if you really want it, if you really want it, Indy minus 7.5 looks pretty decent. We're going to be waiting on the prop side of things, obviously. Darius Garland gets a massive bump in terms of usage, in terms of assist rate with no Donovan Mitchell on the floor this season. Where did the books drop the line? I don't know. Really hard to know without that information, but I can tell you, Indy minus 7.5 would be a like if it weren't. Well, you could put this a lean like, I suppose, but I called it just a lean purely because we have better plays coming up later in the afternoon. Well, evening, depending where you are. 4 o'clock Pacific. Whatever. Time is a construct, friends. Indy, minus 7.5, just a lean. We got Detroit taking on Boston. First play of the day exists here. Boston heading back home after taking on Washington on Sunday. Detroit, Bam Adebayo hits a game-winning 3 in your mouth hole. That sucks, considering you don't care about winning basketball games. That's not the goal. At this point in time, Detroit, 12-55. They are just trying to develop Cade and trying to get Simone Fontecchio getting going. Jaden Ivey starting to play better ball, but being competitive against a team like Miami at home, these bear fruit. This is good stuff. And then, well, the other side of this one, Boston, they played a close one against Detroit. If you go back again, for me, I'm not like, remember that last game, but Boston and Detroit played a very close, down to the wire basketball game when Detroit was on that crazy losing streak at the beginning of this season. Not really expecting that here. Right now, Boston is up 99-67 here, taking on the Washington Wizards, and Sam Hauser did turn his ankle. He's heading to the locker room. We'll see if he ends up suiting out, but my impression is that their resting of one Derek White and Jaylen Brown today was just precautionary, knowing that it was a back-to-back. They can utilize him here, and then they can decide, well, do we want to play Tatum here or not? Because, again, it just feels like Tatum's going completely ballistic on Washington, and he's the best player on the floor by a mile. He'd be the best player on the floor by a mile here, too. No offense to Drew Holiday, really nice two-way player. Will be part of the USA team as well. You're looking at, Jaylen Brown's very, very good, but just saying, this is very much a Boston team that is playing unbelievable basketball. They're the best team in the league, no doubt about it here at the moment. Now, this does project out closer to 16 if you assume that you're going to get one person resting out of the grouping. And I just took Jaylen Brown out just to toy around with it. But every other construct that I have here, except for the Jason Tatum piece, which would obviously have this line moving the other direction, has it being 17 or greater here on the Boston side. So for me, that's a play immediately. Minus 15. Yeah, I'm playing 15 points on Boston at home. What a time to be alive. They were 15-point road favorites against Washington. Equally terrible basketball team. Obviously, this is a little bit of respect for Detroit relative to what we saw from Washington. Washington playing without Kuzma. That was kind of a foregone conclusion. Missed the boat on that one. Let's continue on. Miami taking on Philly. Bam Adebayo, hero of the people now. Let me just tell you, I did say this a little bit earlier to one of my buddies where I was pretty convinced Jimmy Butler, on Saturday, it was going to be announced pretty quickly that he was going to get ruled out. I tried to get on some overs of Bam Adebayo. Got him at 32.5 PRA on Saturday. He closed at 37.5. He went way over. But you also won on the 37.5 PRA on that game-winning three if you were able to get on top of that one. I tried to go for a middle. It was a whole thing. But as I look at the board for this one, I think Jimmy Butler plays against the 76ers. One, he hates Philadelphia. He absolutely did not like his time with Joel Embiid and company. And obviously Doc Rivers not there, so, one gripe less. Then my Minnesota Timberwolves didn't make it work with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was always bound for the Miami Heat. I don't know. Miami Heat, the culture, the idea of it, it is what it is. But back-to-back for Miami, Philadelphia not on the back-to-back, and yet I'm still going to be looking at this Miami side. I'm going to entertain a play on it. I'm not going to be firing it up here as of right now, but Jimmy Butler questionable. I think he plays. Nikola Jovic, I have no idea. And Tobias Harris questionable on the other side. Call that a lean if you will, but there is a play from this one, and it is the under of 213. Again, a 213 total looks very low, but when you look at the pace numbers here without Joel Embiid, and you look at Miami sitting there at 28th out of 30 NBA teams in terms of pace, gotta tell you, I don't really find the offense to be all that palatable in this one. Tyrese Maxey gets this Miami matchup that obviously he can succeed anywhere here, but as I just brought out the numbers here, Buddy Hield better have a good shooting day. They better find something from Cam Payne or Kyle Lowry. Just saying, this is just an absurd spot. Under 213, I like this one. Want to get to the weirdest play on the board that I have? Oh, it is this one. Portland plus 7.5 taking on Chicago here. And as you look at Odd Shopper, not a ton of plays that are posted here as of recording this right now, but one that did catch my eye a little bit as numbers started to come out, because you're comparing these numbers to sharp sports books. You're looking at specific, well, we'll get there here in a second. Let's start with the news and notes, if you will. The Portland side of things, Matisse Thybulle questionable. That actually matters to some extent because guys like Tamani Kamara, Delano Banton, who's been playing tons of minutes now. Really interesting how they like the development of him, and I think they should be developing him and doing everything they can to make him happy. Jeremy Grant, doubtful, so that's going to matter big time. As for the Chicago side, Alex Caruso questionable, Kobe White doubtful. So gigantic news there, and that leads me into Torrey Craig. With a doubtful Kobe White, I think this actually just bolsters his minutes a little bit, which was a little bit weird to me that it seemed like the marketplace didn't agree with that sentiment. Now, it didn't look good against Washington, but they won by 30. He didn't need to get enacted into a ton of duty there. 127.98, 4-2-1. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look great. I had a small play on that one, but guess what? I'm running it back. 14.5 PRA here for him. Don't forget, Alex Caruso out would be an increase big time to his profile here. You're not going to get against Portland the Andre Drummond, Nikola Vucevic starting tandem. It's just not going to happen. And now Torrey Craig's starting to get some starters minutes. Again, 27 in the game previous against the Clippers, 12-6-1 here. Again, this is a much better spot taking on a Portland team than in terms of defensive strength of schedule, defensive rating. They got nothing. Absolutely nothing. 21st in that regard. Yeah, the pace isn't ideal, but overall, Torrey Craig, I think this is a minutes thing where I think he's playing mid-20s minutes at a minimum in just about every single game script heading into this one. So friends, over 14.5 PRA for Torrey Craig. Didn't see that one coming, but minus 105 across the marketplace right now. Fire that one up as soon as you hear this. Let's talk Odd Shopper. Ooh. Surprise, friends, $1 for the first week of OS Premium when you go to that video description box below and use code MADNESS. Yes, as you might have known, it is March Madness. We got our guys Ben Raza, and we got our guys Matt Kajeski on the case here over at Odd Shopper. And as such, we also have the best tools, the positive EV tools to take advantage of for March Madness. We're talking the round of 64, the round of 32. Excited to have the NCAA tournament, first couple of rounds here on Thursday, Friday. Well, you got two games coming up earlier. But anywho, we've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, tons of college basketball. You want to check out Odd Shopper? You want us to prove what we got going over here? Well, sign up using promo code MADNESS, MADNESS. Look at that. I can spell $1 signing up at the link below in the video description box. Back to the picks we go. My Minnesota Timberwolves taking on Utah, and let me just tell you, they're the fluffery. Well, no, we're not going to use that word. That's a weird one. bullshit, if you will. My Minnesota Timberwolves putting Rudy Gobert questionable on the injury report against Utah. Rudy Gobert is questionable against Utah. He is playing against Utah. What? It's Rudy Gobert we're talking about here, people. Rudy Gobert got sent out on a rail to go. He's playing against Utah. Now, Kyle Anderson questionable. I don't know what to make that one. That is for sure. Monty Morris questionable as well. Shout out Iowa State, 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. My alma mater. Can you believe it? I didn't think it either. But anyway, very much looking at Rudy Gobert if he ends up playing in this game, which he's going to play in this game. If he doesn't play in this game, I'm going to feel like an idiot. Lauri Markkanen on the Utah side of things. I think he ends up coming back for this. First time he's shown up questionable on the injury report. It's that same right quad contusion that he's had for quite some time, so pay attention to it. John Collins off the injury report. Everything else known. Jordan Clarkson going to be out. But that's an interesting one. Lauri Markkanen back in. Should keep it pretty competitive. Should keep it pretty interesting. But I gotta say, I keep looking at Rudy Gobert's lines, and I know this gets voided if he doesn't play. Just pay attention to it. If you're putting parlays together, keep note of that. But for me, I am firing this one up, friends, because I do think that Rudy Gobert plays basketball. I do think there's one team he wants to smash in the face every single time out, and it's the Utah Jazz, his former team. Now, he should be happy. It's obviously worked out very, very nicely for him. Lots of money, better situation to play basketball and succeed, going to win Defensive Player of the Year running away this season. All because he is on the Minnesota Timberwolves, my team. There we are. A lot of my team shout-outs in this segment. But Rudy Gobert is at 29.5 points plus rebounds. Thought about the 15.5 points. Thought about the infinity rebounds. I put them together. Feel pretty good about this one. Rudy Gobert, against his former team, is going to play basketball. And if he doesn't, you get avoided. So there you go. 29.5 points plus rebounds. I've got him at 33, friends. That is it's a difference. It's a large difference. Great analysis. We continue on. Next up, your lock of the evening. New York Knicks taking on the Golden State Warriors. Shout out the Golden State Warriors getting Steph Curry back. That is obviously something that really, really matters to the complexion of this basketball team. They were floundering a little bit back and forth, but you know what? Overall, this Golden State team has treated us so very well in the second half of the season when they were a fully operational Death Star. And that was actually before the acquisition of Chris Paul. Not the acquisition, him coming back from injury. This is the healthiest team in the NBA right now, bar none. You've got Mitchell Robinson continuing to be out, Julius Randle continuing to be out, and OG Anunoby questionable, I do think he ends up playing, but they did put him on for injury maintenance on the injury report heading into tomorrow. So the Knicks taking on the Warriors. You've got one team perfectly healthy. Golden State has all of their pieces, every single opportunity to mix and match matchups, to do everything they want, and they are 4-point favorites at home. I don't understand this at all. This should be a much wider spread than this. Now, Thibodeau treats every single regular season game like it's a playoff game with his minutes. He is playing all of his main starters. Josh Hart, 40 plus a night. OG Anunoby, around 36, coming right back. Dante DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson. The same Jalen Brunson would be playing 40 plus a night if he hadn't been dinged up here just recently. So it is wild looking at some of these minutes. And of course, Lord Bojan on the other side. Got to give him a shout out. But I don't understand how you can look at the marketplace as it's going to 4.5 and 5 just about everywhere else. And yet FanDuel is sitting here at -4 as of recording this right now. I would take this at 4.5. I would also take this at 5 more than likely, but it's even better at 4. So FanDuel, shout out, you're a real one. -110, standard number. We're looking at the New York Knicks to get destroyed against Golden State here. Again, love seeing Curry playing off of Draymond Green against the Lakers, and this is a very different matchup. I do think the Knicks are going to be competitive-ish come Eastern Conference time, but the minutes don't change for these guys because they're already playing 36 plus a night. Every other team gets to play their starters more and more and more. Look at Boston. I mean, when you start playing Brown and Tatum 40 plus a night, unfair things happen. Golden State -4, friends. I'm getting off topic. Lock it. This is going to move. My friends, Bet365. Yes, Bet365 available in 10 states. 10 beautiful states as of right now at the video description box below. You just got the great lovely situation going on in Arizona. You got Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, North Carolina. That was the newest one. New Jersey, Ohio, and Virginia. All of those lovely states, if you're in one of them. Sign up for Bet365. They routinely have some of the best numbers available in the NBA markets. They're going to routinely have some of the best home run numbers in the MLB markets. They did last season. If you have access to Bet365, you need to sign up and take advantage of this offer. Because again, $5 into $150. Heard there's that NCAA tournament thing going on here as well. Maybe sign up for that. Take advantage of it. Have $150 in free ammunition. Hot and fresh out the kitchen waiting for you. That's great stuff, friends. We're not going to keep he's a terrible person. Anywho, bet 5, get 150 in bonus bets, friends. If you're 21 and over, 18 and over in Kentucky, if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER down at the video description box below, friends. Continuing on our merry way, 2 games to go. Let's rock. Pretty standard, really. Memphis, massive dogs against Sacramento here. And again, Sacramento we've picked on pretty successfully, but not going to go out of my way to pick on Sacramento with Memphis. Who's going to play basketball for Memphis? Bunch of no-namers. Jordan Goodwin's back in the G League right now. Scottie Pippen Jr. could be the thing. It's probably the second healthiest team. Trey Lyles, Vezenkov, both of them out on the Sacramento side. Everybody else is in. So their main guys are in. Oh, yeah, Domantas Sabonis gets to take on a Memphis team in a slow-paced-ish matchup. 22.5 total. I mean, it's good enough. Who is going to guard Domantas Sabonis and who's going to guard anybody? Maybe I should reconsider 9.5 here. No, the numbers don't bear it out. What does bear out here, Domantas Sabonis, the most triple-doubles in the NBA thus far. There is an assist rate that just never, ever goes down here at this point in time. So that's cool. It's useful. I mean, it went down against the Knicks, but the Knicks played ridiculously slow, grinded out basketball. They lose at home, 98-91 there. I'm writing off the 2 assists because, again, previous to that, 10, 8, 8, 9, 12. Just insane amount of assists here constantly. The assist rate alongside Fox continues to be good. I will say, Malik Monk playing more and more and more. That is something that I'm a little bit worried about because, again, Trey Lyles is out. I do think that it's a little bit correlated with why you see high 20s minutes from Malik Monk every single time out. There have been none of this like 20-minute stuff, 19-minute stuff that shows up from time to time when he doesn't shoot the ball well. And he is somebody who will cut into that assist rate because De'Aaron Fox already does to some extent, but again, hasn't shown up as much this season. I'm going to lean like it. I haven't bet it yet. Very strongly considering betting the Domantas Sabonis triple-double based on what I think the number is going to show up at. If you want to know if I end up firing it up, hit me up over on X at Eric Lindquist. We're happy to let you know. Or the premium Discord, you can ask me anything you want. Again, these are good things. And the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. I really have nothing. Obviously, you got to pay attention to Anthony Davis news. He got poked in the eye. That probably sucks and didn't end up returning to that Golden State game. It was what was the exact terminology for it? I've got to double check. 3, 2, 1. Eye contusion. Okay, there we go. That's what he's officially questionable with. Interesting. Cam Reddish is questionable for this one as well. Adds a little bit of depth, although he's kind of been out of the rotation for the most part because he's terrible. Bogdan Bogdanovic, Jalen Johnson. You got to pay attention to their news because they are guys who have been dinged up. DeAndre Hunter has been playing more and more minutes, but they just don't want to start him ever, it would appear. They're starting Vic Krejci and Garrison Matthews and bringing Hunter off the bench no matter what. Trying to limit those minutes on a back-to-back. What does Atlanta do here? Can everybody play? Because you got a Kongwu out. You got AJ Griffin out. You got Trae Young obviously out. He matters the most. Kongwu quite a bit too. Although I heard he is close coming back this weekend potentially. So be on the lookout for that. LOL. I need numbers. Lean like. This is the worst bit in the history of the show. Let's end. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist here on the board for this lovely Monday 8-gamer we have before us. Thank you, producer Jacob. Thank you, Bet365. Until next time, friends, let's have a great week. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Monday.